Mercury is a processor, and each one of us has this processor placed in our birth chart. The configuration of this processor is purely based on your past karma. If you have used this processor for doing good, for encouraging others, for helping others, for spreading love and light, for inventing products that would help mankind, then this birth you have arrived with a well placed Mercury. Mercury, which is not retrograde but is normal and placed in 3rd, 6th, 7th, 10th, or 11th house in your birth chart. The most suitable house placement for Mercury is indeed the 2nd, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 10th, and the 11th house in your birth chart. But the buck doesn't stop here. Mercury placement is the first checkpoint. If you clear this first checkpoint, then the next checkpoint is the nakshatra in which your Mercury is placed. Mohan asked, which nakshatra complements Mercury? Mohan always asks good question. And the answer is simple. In fact, truth has always been simple. Mercury does well in the nakshatra of Venus, Rahu, and Saturn. These are buddies of Mercury, and we all love our buddies. Happiness is being with our buddies. And so Mercury is happy when he is with his buddies, that is, when he is with Venus, Rahu, and Saturn. Mercury therefore does well in the following nakshatras. Mercury does well in Swati, which falls in Libra sign. Mercury does well in Shatabisha nakshatra, which falls in Aquarius sign. Mercury does well in Adra nakshatra, which falls in Gemini sign. Mercury does well in Purva Falguni nakshatra, which falls in the Leo sign. Mercury does well in Bharani nakshatra, which falls in the Aries sign. And Mercury does well in Purva Shadha nakshatra, which falls in Sagittarius sign. Mercury does well in Pushya nakshatra, which falls in Cancer sign. Mercury does well in Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra, which falls in Pisces sign. And Mercury does well in Anuradha nakshatra, which falls in Scorpio sign. Along with all these 9 nakshatras, Mercury does well in its own nakshatra as well. Mercury does well in Ashlesha, which falls in Cancer. Mercury does well in Revati nakshatra, which falls in Pisces. And Mercury does well in Jeshta nakshatra, which falls in Scorpio. Always remember, Pisces is not bad for Mercury, my fellows. One man, and he was the greatest scientist that the world had ever known. His name was Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein had his Mercury in Pisces sign. So you now tell me, one of the greatest genius is born with Pisces Mercury. And in India, you see all people screaming from their stomach that Mercury is debilitated in Pisces or Mercury is not good in Pisces. That is all fake. Truth is something else, and this sharing is only for my close followers. The rest can ignore and continue with their bookish lessons. Real life is different from what you read in the books, my fellows. That is why a real man, a real woman learns her lessons not by sitting in a cozy classroom, but right on the streets. A wise man learns more in the streets than in any classroom. Classroom students are complete turn off for me. I prefer those who are like the breeze, the wind, the storm, who don't limit themselves to the four walls of astrology but fly beyond. And only those who have the courage to fly beyond can taste the true essence of astrology. I always believe that one should shine like a star, dream like a child, fly like a bird. No rules, no limit, absolute freedom. It is only through freedom that the truth can be found, my fellows. Mercury shows its colors and shades based on the nakshatra and signs. And so when Mercury is placed in Swati, the person is intellectual. And if there is a certain depth in the horoscope, then this intellectualism can also rise to the level of intelligence. Always remember, intellectualism is not intelligence. Intellectualism is of the head. Intelligence is when your head is in tune with your heart. Shatabhisha. When Mercury is in Shatabhisha nakshatra, in the sign of Aquarius, the person is highly intellectual, also very sexual, loves to have large network of friends, generally is famous within his circle. This Mercury enjoys a certain authority. The person either attains a prominent place in society or is connected with affluent person. A certain glamour is seen with this Mercury. When Mercury is in Adra, in the sign of Gemini, the native is found to be excellent in communication, takes great interest in magic, art, board games, generally comes with emotional intelligence, highly diplomatic in conversations, generally never let others know what exactly is going on in his or her mind, kind of an introvert. When Mercury is in Purva Falguni, in the sign of Leo, then drama, acting, intelligence, politics. This Mercury is a showman, loves to flaunt his new iPhone or a new Mercedes or anything that would boost his or her pride. Pride is the whole point. Whatever adds to his pride, he will definitely flaunt it. Show off is what they like. These fellows are not stingy or narrow-minded people. They like to live it large. In a way, a friend having this Mercury placement is a good friend. He may be the greatest show-off person, but he will be also the only person who will come to help you because he has a large heart. He roars like a lion, he eats like a lion, and he also shares like a lion. When Mercury is in Bharani Nakshatra, in the sign of Aries, you will see all those romantic couples, especially those romantic songs and love triangles and love relationships. And the she loves me not, all kind of this romanticism is found in the native with Mercury in Bharani. They are a song, they are a dance, they are direct. If he loves you, he will just say it in a running bus. You are sitting next to him and he will propose you straight from the heart. I love you. And it will be so natural, so simple, so straight that for a minute you will not be able to figure out until you say, "What did you say?" And the man of heart will smile and say it again, "I love you." What is there to fear? When you love, you simply love. Whenever you love someone, you should express your love. If the response is yes, you are all good to go. And if the response is no, you can move on. That is how this Mercury is, straight and simple. When Mercury is in Purva Shadha Nakshatra, then the person is well versed in scriptures, scholarly, learned person is what you find with this Mercury placement. Generally, such a native is well cultured, aims high, and is always thinking by following the path of righteousness, dharma. Such a person will find it difficult to kiss the love of his life in the public, because what will people say? So they are conservative, but at strange moments, unexpected moments, they suddenly do something that is exactly opposite to their nature. Such a man may hesitate to kiss his girlfriend in the public, but if he has to save a woman from drowning in the river, then he may go all the way to save her. He will pull her out of the river and suck the water out from her chest. When it comes to safeguarding dharma, he will not hesitate to do anything under the sky. Such a native loves to talk about mythology, scriptures, religion. They also like to debate on matters of religion. They are the protector of dharma. When Mercury is in Pushya Nakshatra, in the sign of Cancer, you find emotional people. They always think, but their thinking is highly influenced by their emotions. And so, superstitions, beliefs, traditions, all of this play a vital role in their life, because most of their decisions are based on it. Innocence comes natural to these fellows. A woman having Mercury in Cancer is indeed a sweet person. In fact, her lover falls for her innocence, but in practical life, the same innocence becomes a challenge for the husband. He always have to safeguard his wife, because his wife is so innocent and the world isn't. Moodiness and constant changing temperament is a trademark of this placement. To sing a song, to dance, to make love, to enjoy the cool breeze, to watch the playful birds, the native just loves to do all of this. To him or to her, life is more like love and less like logic. When Mercury is in Anuradha Nakshatra, which is in Scorpio, then the person is always thinking, what is in it for me? No matter how much you explain these people, the primary question is always, what is in it for me? What am I going to get? This is a very practical placement of Mercury, where you cannot take this native for a ride. Salesperson will find it difficult to sell his products to this native, because this native remains focused on the basic question, kitna deti hai? How much does it give back? A strong inclination towards occult mystery and passion for investigations, finding the true meaning, finding the truth is always observed in these natives. They talk very straight, and at times it can hurt the other person. But that is how they are. Never taunt, because if you dare to taunt, then these natives will give you such a befitting reply that you will be taken aback. They are very sharp, straight, and practical people. Their motto is simple: if you remain straight with me, I will remain straight with you. So, my fellows, when Mercury forms conjunction with Saturn, Venus, or Rahu in the nakshatras that I just shared with you, then the conjunction brings certain positive results that help the native to boost his or her status in the society. What is Mercury? It is a processor. But who operates this processor? Who is the real mover and shaker? And the answer is simple. The answer is moon. Moon signify your mind. Moon commands, and the brain, that is Mercury, follows the command. The mind commands, the brain follows the command. You will not indulge in actual sex until your mind is willing to. It is only when your mind says yes that your brain, Mercury, gets into action mode. And then the brain commands the sexual organ, and the organ moves ahead. The grass starts growing. That is how the act of sex happens, at the command of the mind. The mind commands, that is the moon commands, and the brain, the Mercury, executes. And to execute a certain action, you need energy. This energy comes from Mars. And when it comes to sex, a lot of energy and stamina is required, which comes through Mars, and therefore Mars plays a vital role in the act of sex. When mind brain energy is in harmony, that is when moon, Mercury and Mars is in harmony, then the act of sex happens without any problems. Then both the partners enjoy sex and attain sexual satisfaction. Sexual satisfaction is one of the most significant part of human life, without which you cannot really progress in your spiritual life. If you turn to spiritual life because you failed in your sexual relationships, because you remained sexually dissatisfied, then your spiritual life will also prove a failure. It is all interconnected. Unless you realize that sex has its own limitations, unless you realize that there is much more beyond sex, there is no coming to truth. There is no chance of you succeeding in your spiritual life. Never suppress sex. Instead, transform your sexual urge into spiritual urge. Sex is a raw energy. It has to be transformed. And through transformation, there is transcendence. Rather than transforming it, religions have been repressing it. And if you repress it, the natural outcome is a perverted human being. He becomes obsessed with sex. Perversion happens when you are denied what you desire. Sex perverts are those fellows who have never experienced sex or have been denied sexual pleasures. If you observe closely, then those who have had enough of sex, they are never found to be sexual perverts. They had enough, so perversion has no space in their life. It is non-existential. When Mercury is good, the brain is good, the processing power is good, the logical analysis is good, but there is a catch. What if the moon is bad? Because finally the master of Mercury is moon, your mind. And so, my fellows, this is a deep subject. The whole essence of the matter is that when moon is bad and Mercury is good, the moon will use this fast processor for wrong, malicious goals. And that is how you see hackers, frauds, cheaters. They may have excellent sharp Mercury brain, but their mind, moon, is corrupt. And so a good Mercury is wasted, just wasted. And then there is this case where the moon is right, the mind is good, but the Mercury, the brain is wrong. Then you have this kind of people who always think opposite. For example, if I prepare a nice sweet dish and offer with love, then these people will think, there must be some agenda behind this act. You see, no matter how much straight you are with this man and woman, they will always think the crooked way. And this word crooked now reminds me of Mercury retrograde period. Because retrograde Mercury is also a crooked Mercury. And so now when Mercury goes retrograde from May 30th to June 23, 2021, you all should stay cautious of crooked men and crooked women around you, for they can cause much trouble if you remain unaware. Mercury retrograde is a period when everything will slow down. However, it is a wonderful period to revisit, to reconnect, and recharge yourself. You can revisit old proposals, whether it is a job proposal or a marriage proposal. You can reconnect with old buddies with whom you had lost the connection. You can use this retrograde period to pause, introspect, and recharge yourself. Mercury retrograde period is a time when you avoid indulging in any new venture. Instead, clean up and rearrange the old setup. Renovate your office or your house. It is also a period when you go through surgeries, or where you can go through surgeries, because surgery is also a process of correcting your physical body. And retrograde Mercury period is all about doing corrections and reinventing yourself, so that when Mercury goes direct, you are all set to go for your goal. Remember, this human body has mind, that is moon, brain, that is Mercury, and also a heart, which is the real king. This heart is ruled by the sun. That is why you have the Leo sign, my fellows. Leo is the heart. And so the whole spiritual journey begins and progresses as you slowly start dropping your mind. Because when mind is dropped, the brain no more has its master, that is the mind. Then the brain starts turning towards the heart. And when the heart becomes the master of your brain, then you find someone as beautiful as Mirabai, the devotee of Krishna, as beautiful as the Buddha, as beautiful as the Mahavira, as beautiful as Jesus. The enlightened beings operate in this human world, but without the mind. Remember, a Buddha is a state of no mind. The whole problem is your mind. Once you enslave your mind, then the same mind can do wonders in your life. But to enslave the mind, one may take many births, or with the grace of the Guru, even one birth is enough. It all depends, it is based on person to person. But what you all should remember is that reaching the destination is not as important as embarking on the journey itself. We all have to make a collective effort to bring the lost ones on the path again, the Buddha path. I am making a small effort from my end. You make a small effort from your end. And this is how the journey will continue, my fellows. This is how this beautiful life will flower, only if you are willing to. The beauty is in walking on the path. As you walk, the way appears. Keep walking. Jai Shri Ganesha. Jai Guru.